Najarro. She serves as a board member of Círculo de Poetas and Writers, working with the nationwide Latinx community to promote creative writing and social justice. Oh, this is an older one. Her family was forced to leave Nicaragua because of political unrest. Her four poetry collections include Variations in Blue, published by Letras Latinas, Red Hen in 2025. And I could speak for another half hour about all of the wonderful things that Adela does.
Okay,
but then we run over.
Let me give you my phone.
And Shizue, thank you so much for setting this up and this beautiful room filled with all these amazing writers and lovers of poetry and the truth that we get through spoken word. Okay, I'm gonna try, this is a little strange. Can I do it like this?
Yes.
Is that okay, everybody? Everybody can hear that? Yeah? Okay. All right, so hi, I'm so excited to be here and share some of my poems from Variations in Blue. I said I'd start a timer. Let me do that. Come on, there we go. Okay, and this book, it came out in 2025, and I spent a lot of time working on it. I'm really proud of it. It's the title, Variations in Blue. The blue plays on many different things, but all the poems are in variations of each other. So like there's a series of poems, all of which include volcanoes. There's a series of ekphrastic poems. There's a series of poems about my mother, one about my father. There's all kinds of, then there's interlocking series with all different variations. And in the middle, there's a set on domestic violence and healing from domestic violence. And we are here, we're gathered here to counter the political climate we're currently in, and especially what recently happened on television with the comedians being canceled and let go. And so this is basically a shutting down of free speech. And if we, as a nation, one of my most cherished values that I've always had is the ability for free speech. And so the reason being is that the only way we can develop a more sane and just and fulfilling culture is by learning about the truth about what's going wrong. And if you just paint over it and to pretend, oh, American history is beautiful, oh, America's beautiful, it's like we're gonna stagnate and fall into a complete dictatorship. So the poems I'm reading today are about that issue and specifically on women's bodies and lives. So as a trigger warning, I am going to be talking about domestic violence and Trump and may use some offensive language. The middle here, I wrote these poems about healing from domestic violence, and when the Jeffrey Epstein papers, which are still being discussed, were on the board, I told my husband, I was like, I'm so angry, I'm so triggered by the think that our president did this to these young girls. And you know he did, over and over. To whom, how many young girls did he scar and maim? And so, but a lot of people might be thinking, well, why aren't they speaking up? Where's the book? Where's the expose? So it didn't happen because, and it's like, no, these things are so traumatizing that it's taken me 30 years to write poems about the healing from domestic violence in order to be able to do so. So I know my time is limited because we have a lot of people, so I want to share with you these two poems that I think get to the heart of the healing from trauma. So there's an image of a mountain, and think about, as you're listening to this, what is the mountain? And the mountain can be what we carry inside, it can be what has been done to us, it can be hope, right? So the idea of this mountain in here. Okay. Desert Variation in Blue 2. When the mountain becomes a scar, she rises from the earth's crust tectonic plates, lava plumes, relentless fire and steam. We are the ones who see. Where pinyon pine digs deep, a mountain and her shadows, even stars that burn holograms in the sky, Orion's bow, his arrow, then the wound. And so it is done that quickly, the scar becomes a woman's hip. All that cannot be said, contained within, becomes a mountain. She rises in anger, becomes a stick, a stone, blade, or fist. Under a nighttime sky, fog drapes through, clawing branches, broken, torn. She is alone. Okay. And this is the second one. Hopefully it's a series. I couldn't read the whole series, but this is the healing. Desert Variation in Blue 3. Heat waves bind desert green on the valley floor, blue stem, sagebrush, salt bush. We are the ones who see. We are the ones who know. Light waves undulate at precise peaks and valleys. We name these burnt sienna, azure blue, clay white, alabaster. We are the ones who see. We are the ones who know. On the valley floor, she rises, casts shadows that undulate with the passing sun. She is mountain, she is scar, she is a bird or star. She sits on a fence, a bird in shade under a tree. A bird splashes wet, a hummingbird over sugary sweet water. In the beginning was the word. And we began to name plant, animal, color, star, but that was not enough. A word is and is not a nest, a seed, a root that digs deep. She sits in the form of herself and teeters precariously on the edge of the world, as a bird on the fence, as an orange desert flower, as a giant gaseous star. Words lift in wind, and like leaves on a tree, she catches afternoon light. Mm-hmm. And I'm so glad I get to listen to share this one with you. Trigger warning, it has trigger warning. Okay. After reading how an ordinary Midwestern teenager from a liberal family chose to join a white supremacist neo-Nazi organization and volunteer his time. We all know this boy is the same boy that rode once, or rides now, a horse down an empty road where flowers bloom under dappled shadows, and whatever he finds, the undocumented Maria, the runaway Juba, the Irish Joanna, the poor girl without shoes, all the girls without families, without panties, torn and left twisted in mud. This is not new. We know that much. We know about big game hunting, stalking the exotic rhino, elephant, giraffe. Even now, we know men, our men, hunt, have hunted, keep stalking. This boy has been, will become, like so many men with other men, men among men, men with rifles, with guns, now stalking an empty plain, flowers in bloom. Under there, bodies dry out. Flies, all of it, even hibernating bears, and always the girls. Always the girls. Punjabi girl, Soweto girl, Beulah, Janasi, Maria, the bodies, the bodies, the bodies. This is not new. We know that much. We know a man is supposed to get pussy, and what if he doesn't? Is supposed to get work, and what if he doesn't? is supposed to protect and serve with guns. And what if he doesn't? The bodies, 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 the bodies. Thank you. Our next reader is Amanda Cruz, who lives in Mendocino on unceded Northern Pomo land. Her poetry and visual art have appeared in the Noyo Review, The Bloom, The Spirit of Place, Mendocino County Women Poets Anthology, and elsewhere. You can find her through her website, amandacruz.com.
Thank you. I'm so honored to be here with you all. Is that like closer? Or?
Yeah, closer is good. Somehow.
I'll try. And that's a hard act to follow, so beautiful, so inspiring and powerful. Okay, I will set the timer as well, and this one is about ecocide. So I was thinking about civil rights and how, to me, nature and the survival of nature, we are nature. So our survival and the survival of the rest of nature is at risk, as we know as well. And this one is called It Is What It Does to You on the Inside. When the pelicans return, soundless in their hundreds, long ribbons of black silk on raw canvas, brushstrokes that appear and disappear over Pacific bluffs, urchin purple at low tide, air, water, earth that smell of kelp and heat and pollen on shore pine. It is what it does to you on the inside, this sky dancing prayer, benign incantation of weightless grace that says, yes, please, to wet on thirsty skin, yes, please, to silver and salt for breakfast, yes, please, to a time before we plucked and sprayed and pushed them to the brink twice, first by hunting them for hat feathers, then by watching the still feathered parents crush their eggs with their chicks still inside because we did not tell them that we made their shells too thin because we failed to stop the DDT. And now they are landing and collapsing in backyards and parking lots, emaciated, dehydrated, lethargic, cold and confused, and we don't even seem to know why that is, what it does to us on the inside that makes it hard to resist this urge to disown. All of it, resist this urge to reach for the next updraft and beg their forgiveness, say yes, please, to a time before, when human meant we knew how to tend and protect the millions of prayers in our borrowed skies, benign incantations of weightless grace, the sky prayers dancing. This one has some lyrics in it, which I am not going to sing, but I will try and modulate my voice. It's a wonderful young singer-songwriter named R.O. Shapiro. Look him up. It's great, beautiful Americana work, and I have his permission. And this one is called Uncommon Privilege on a No King's Day, and it's about me wrangling with this and this world, country we're in. I stand naked and tangled in sunlight, brush to hair wet and dripping. No plan of attack, just the wind at my back and a heart full of strings. June pulls through naked blossom, 24 wild turkey eyes, I, my cat, and I. The toms chortle, it's mating season, tail feathers on full display fan out wide. Big backsides on thin legs waddle in the scrubby grass. Benevolent rule, I think. Maybe I should ask the females about that. Early hint of pink, the apple trees will bear no fruit, and I know all the machines and digital eyes winking at me are blind and ravenous. It's war season on full display. They want me to devour the news, but thinking about when I should quit, I suppose, opt not to read or watch or listen or digest or understand or explain or keen on a day that begins in Gaza and ends with a parade of waddling men waving their tails around. What tangled privilege, this brushing it all away into a mirror of light on my bare skin and lapis eyes and long blonde hair. Our eyes met in the mirror as I searched for the truth. Inside this cozy house with good bones, outside a village, in the middle of somewhere, I swath myself in ravenous blue. And then this one is a bit of an experiment, so thank you for bearing with me. It's a visual graphic poem that appeared this way and then I wrangled with for like 6 months to try and get it to look just so. And it's called So Much to Say, and I'm gonna try and do it a bit more as a spoken poem. And if anyone's interested and I do this, I would invite you, feel free to repeat back what I'm saying, you'll see what I mean. I'm so tired, I'm so tired, I'm so tired, I'm so tired. I'm so tired, 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 I'm so tired. My goodness, I'm so tired, I'm so tired, I'm so tired, I'm so tired, I'm so tired of lying awake at night. I'm so tired, my beloved, I'm so tired, 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 and I love you so. I'm so tired, my child, I'm so tired, I'm so tired, I'm so tired, I'm so tried. I'm so tried, 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 I'm so tried. I'm so tried, I'm so tried, I'm so tried, I'm so tried, I've tried, it's so very much. I'm so tired, 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 I'm so tired. So will you forgive me? So tired, I'm so tired, I'm so tired, I'm so tired, I'm so tired, I will resist, but I'm so tired, I'm so tired. Will I survive? Tired, I'm so tired, I'm so tired, I'm so fucking tired. I'm so tired. I'm so tired, I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I'm so tired, I'm so tired of this America. So tired, I'm so tired, I'm so tired, I'm so tired, I'm so tired. So still and still we will persist, and still and still and. Beulah Vega is a first-generation Latine political poet, horror writer, mischief maker, I put that in, a theatrical artist living in the North Bay area, and a complete force of nature. I added that too. Her poems are most recently published in Writers Resist and Raiz, and she produces plays through the series Heroines, Harlots, and Harpies, A Woman Speaks.
So Amanda, you're gonna write all my bios from now on, right?
Yes.
Also, excuse me, because I changed my mind at the last minute about something, so that's my midtones here. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I would prefer not to use the mic, but I know that sometimes that's an issue, so, okay, we're good. Cool. I'm not gonna give any intros, I'm just gonna read these things. This is called Whale Song. At the tips of my fingers, there is mutiny. At my core, I am a poet of politics politics, an artist in a political world, a political poet. To say otherwise would be to say that a person sailing on the sea is not a sailor. I am an artist in a world obsessed with the notion that simply throwing beauty at tragedy will be enough. But my art can create attractive tragedy. My pen can write beauty and lethal toxicity. My words can be foxglove disguised as comfrey. Those in love with order and stability tell me that beauty, art, and existence are not inherently political. What's wrong, they ask, with simply meditating on the enchantment of whale song? But those whales are singing mutiny, singing their unease in boiling seas, singing their sorrow for corsets pierced from kin. I am a poet in a political world with madmen at the helm, and at the tips of my fingers there is mutiny. I will listen carefully to the whale song. My pen will write their rage and my own. This one is brand new, so you'll have to excuse me if it's a little wonky, because it's literally brand new. It's called Supremist Court. Yeah. The anti-anxiety meds are barely holding off panic as each new single judge author writ arrives. Day turns to night, to weird liminal time, where emergency sessions create shadows, moving liberty backwards and driving authoritarianism forward at the speed of a bullet train, screaming along the legacy lines of long dead robber barons, carpetbaggers, and slaveholders. What dies when only death can free my country from a 6'3" descent? Habeas corpus is looking pretty weak. Our souls have been auctioned with fast hammer gavel strikes, ensuring winning bids before we, the people, knew that bidding had begun. Every night now, toothless men in black gowns slip into the stalls of power, groom the Constitution into obedient, broken horses. They bleed its marrow for glue to stick an orange tyrant to his gaudy gilded seat. In a once rose-tinted lawn, life, liberty, has decayed into the marble and granite sepulcher of democratic ideals. Sepulcher, not tomb, nulla corpora. Our bodies are not there, just our freedoms. Actually gonna skip this one. I can't turn the page. Okay. Let's say this is called, do people speak Spanish out here? Yeah. Okay, I apologize ahead of time. My Spanish is horrible. Somewhere between Blanco and Reposado. I am learning to shift my weight off my vulnerable knees and weak ankles, finding my balance, fists up, head down, hips square, dodging and weaving as I wait for a bell to sound that never will. The self-appointed referees asleep at the wheel, bored of a fight that has never impacted them. I am mixing foundations to find the perfect blue that counteracts the orange to make my skin look white, then throwing it all away and starting over with the Quetla Shoshi lipstick, relishing in its imaginary toxicity, though it is only as poisonous as the colonizer's fears. I am crying and exhausted of being cried to, crying that the crying from women, the color of those who burnt books under black and red flags, the color of the robes their fathers wore to keep cross soot off their clothes, the color of the Republican female vote to stop crying. I am tired of holding space for women with the resources and privilege to describe votes against my citizenship, my body, and my very personhood as an attack on their feelings, while they withdraw into their enclaves of like-minded and like-hued covens, drinking Stolichnaya martinis and Herodora margaritas, while children are ripped from their parents' arms, While children are ripped in two by Putin's bombs and Trump's ego and their blind eyes to husbands and friends who have agreed to disagree, I am finished with niceties, with manners, with gifts labeled fragile that we all know contains the bombs of self-importance the dominant classes hand to us on our first day of pre-K, along with thick crayons and thin milk waiting to explode on any of us who try and pull away the paper, exposing the lines of their so-called civility. I am done. Like I said, I changed my mind the last minute because I realized these were all very Beulah poems. So I'm gonna read something a little different. I'm gonna take my glasses off because I'm old.
We like Beulah poems.
This is called something I can't see. Be bigger. One second, guys. I got this. I promise. Obviously, I have no issue being in front of people. Sorry. Why can't you display the PDF, you silly phone? Oh well, that's my time. So I'll do something uplifting later, maybe. So, Brenda Marie Yeager, Poet Laureates of Lake County, co-hosts New Darling's online poetry discussion monthly. She was a finalist for the 2022 Jane Underwood Poetry Prize. She's been published in the Noyo Review and the Bloom, and is seeking publication for her chapbook Captain America, and happens to be one of the kindest human beings I've ever met. So there's that. Brenda.
People, beautiful people, what a delight to gather together today. Shizue, thank you so much. You can feel your web here of all these gorgeous voices and hearts, and I'm really honored to be here among you today. Given what has come before, I'm gonna shift what I'm reading a little bit and be in the mood. Yes, how true that it's always personal honesty and truth that where we have to start always with the change. And thank you to Georgina too, who is the like fabric behind the thread, who brought us all together. So what a delight to be here. This one doesn't have a title, it's too new. If anyone has a title when they hear it, please. I would really love some help with this. So, I touch the ear that remembers the scene as silence. The right ear? No, the left. The right ear remembers the indecipherable intimacy of the moment. No, not indecipherable, misplaced, like a father's hand on the face of a daughter. No, not a hand, a fist that misplaced intimacy. In the memory held in the curve of the right ear, a daughter curls on the red carpet. No, not red. Crimson, misplaced, outside the vein, before it dries. The terrible freight of the voice is delivered again and again, shards of the blue light bulb, exposed plaster of the lamp, and the body of a daughter are indecipherable. No, not decipherable. The scene is withholding their original and unbroken forms. Those have passed into memory. Only the right ear remembers. No, the left. I touch the left ear that remembers. It is an opening, like silence. When the clasp of the night is broken, silence is humming into the opening. The original forms are tumbling off its tongue, bright, hot as stars, as an origin story. Yes, she grasps it now. This is where the future began to repeat. I touch the ear that remembers. The right ear, yes. The left ear, yes. It's opening, round and silent and whole. Through the frame of the window, behind the shadow of the father. It is full. With an ear curled onto its silver carpet, listening. Yes, the daughter remembers. I do. This is how moonlight enters the room. In the theme of women's bodies and domestic violence, I changed what I was reading after you read, so. This is written for a friend of mine who asked me to write it, and this is just her story. So, Kintsugi, or things I want to say to the jurors who failed to convict my friend's abuser. 1, freckles drowning in a swollen purple tide. 2, peach curve of her cheek, skin's tear just as tenderly. 3, blonde is not a crime. 4, was there a time before you got to feed the kids breakfast that you bit your own lip so hard that you needed stitches? Is that even a thing? 5, a new suit with a new tie worn at court is not an alibi. 6, there is only one way a face shatters, sharp as a fruit bowl against the corner of the bed frame before a woman even gets to feed the kids breakfast. 7, please open your palms where I will place evidence, a few shards of her, so you can feel the weight, the splendor seeping through the cracks. 8, a southern accent is not a crime. 9, in a home video, a loaded gun should never appear against your temple. In a home video, a loaded gun should never appear against the temple of your son. 10, an abuser's mother can never speak to what happened behind the shower curtain in another woman's home, in another town, before that woman even got to feed the kids breakfast. 11, was there a time that someone held a loaded gun to your temple, that it wasn't a crime worthy of conviction? 12, the fracture of her voice in the 911 call, not yet hardened into gold. In Lake County, we just had the 10-year anniversary of the Valley Fire, and the celebration was, the gatherings were all calling for a celebration of resilience, and I just wanted to leave with us with that one today. in the language of flowers. As I drive in the heart of the decade-old burn scar of my neighborhood, holding a new and personal grief, the wild lilac startles me this spring. Exuberance blooming across the mountainside, every turn saturated in its mystical hue. Why had I never noticed? Native lilac seeds wait underground until wildfire bursts their stubborn shells. Sometimes they have to hold out for centuries. Only that intense heat bends them to their future, into seedlings, into their soft purple madness, on and on the mountainside where my friends' houses used to hold them so near to my days. And while this floral intoxication is no substitute for them or for my beloved, the lesson is the same. How much heat is created by every human loss my life has known, the way it breaks me open, and how much still remains. It is my extreme honor to introduce Esperanza Cabrales. Am I saying that correctly? Esperanza Cabrales, such a beautiful name. She is a queer Chicana slam poet, performing teaching artist, zine maker, earring creator, and pun enthusiast who grew up in the San Joaquin Valley and now lives in Oakland. Please welcome Esperanza.
Hi everyone. I just wrote some new shit. I was thinking about the theme for today, and this is something that I wanted to, I guess, express because I have had a very hard time addressing what has been going on recently. More often than not, I find myself crying or trying to make jokes to deflect about it. So in an effort to try to express what I've been feeling, I wrote this. I'm worried when my time comes to speak up. My vocal cords will fail me and shrivel. My mind will empty of all thoughts. I will have nothing to say on the genocides of my friends' families. Nothing about how my cousins are scared to go grocery shopping for fear they'll go missing or be deported by ICE. Nothing when my coworker says she doesn't believe in pronouns. Nothing when my ex told me homeless people are an insult to him. Nothing when strange men's eyes sketch out my silhouette. Nothing in response to, I'm sorry, from my conservative comedian friend when I've been cornered into admitting my body makes more androgen than estrogen, and yeah, it has been a problem. Nothing to say after I've censored myself to ensure I still have ways to survive. Nothing to say when I've been dismissed and shadow banned for asking where the detainees of Alligator Alcatraz have disappeared to. Nothing when someone says an insult to autistic people like my 7-year-old nephew or my love. Nothing to say when my family, friends, students, or vague acquaintances make fat-phobic comments. Nothing when my mom tells me to speak up in her country could mean my mutilation or death. Nothing when the government adds me to their secret hit list. Nothing when comrades are detained. Nothing when the gun is cocked at my beloved's head. But worst of all, I worry my fear will make my voice fawn when the threat is most directly to my head. that instead of dying for my conviction, I'll dissociate and die to self. I fear I'll bend the knee when I most need to stand. Next, I have a little poem that I wrote. I made a zine to kind of give it a home. It features the art of Palestinian children from a child's view from Gaza art exhibit. And I wrote a ghazal for Gaza. When I was younger, everything was free. As in, I didn't know popsicles weren't free. In the small town of my childhood, I dreamt of running away to be free. The church told me that the truth of God's love would set me free. Is it braver to learn restraint or to allow passions to roam free? How many days can the media cast a blind eye to suffering guilt-free? During a game with my students, I ask them for antonyms of free. When I get stuck with writer's block, I reread until my ideas can flow free. A common misperception is this false claim that knowledge is free. Revolutionaries said, give me liberty or give me death. Most live to be free. For 75 years, due to foreign political power plays, Palestinians have not been free. Genocide seems to be a recurring plot line. Will there ever be new writers in the land of the free? Bulldozers in Gaza no longer build, but instead unearth loved ones' bodies free. Ice cream trucks preserve the white bags of children frozen in time, finally free. I ache for a world of children who know and live, synonyms of free. Thank you. I wanted to finish up with a poem that I've done in a few different places. I want to give some background on it. I first came up with the idea when I was in a marketing class studying to get a business degree, and I realized that there is literally marketing everywhere. So I decided to write this poem called An Advertisement for the American Dream. If you work hard enough, you too can claim your American dream. After all, this is the land of milk and honey, of opportunities for immigrants like my mom and grandparents, where their green thumbs can grow dollars from trees and harvest fruits from fields where no one is hungry. Pay your dues, keep your head down, and soon you'll own a white picket fence. Better yet, a wall. Don't sweat if you can't afford a down payment. Sell away your retirement and dile a tus hijos they can inherit your debts. Rent an apartment in Hayward con cinco de mis primos, tíos, and tías, crammed into one bedroom with a beautiful view of the hallway. No privacy or laundry, utilities not included. Remind yourself that it'll all pay off in the end. Pay that minimum monthly payment right on time, so that 30% interest rate will ensure you keep owing for the rest of time. Forever. Time is a construct you must cling to. Being early is on time is late, time is money, and when you're late, you're a useless waste for messing with corporate America's favorite form of currency. Speaking of money, let us take care of yours for you. Those hard numbers must be so confusing. Don't worry, we'll make sure you keep having nothing to invest. Line our pockets with your hard-earned time while we bide ours until you're arrested for some made-up crime. Like jaywalking, partying too loud, or existing. Trying to make a living with the skills you have, selling as a taquero sin vergüenza y sin licencia. The only license you should have is maybe one to drive, so you can pay us money. Something you have to buy to validate your existence, like bridge tolls, taxes, citizenship. If not, leave. Take the hopes of opportunity with you. Share it with those from whatever country you came from. Tell them the American dream is real. Don't tell them it's real expensive, real difficult to reach, really just an opportunity thing that's back like nobody's business, a higher price than a single life that we started and wanted to. Lock people up in cells if we don't make enough sales, keep kids in cages and tell them they were abandoned. El sueño americano sigue despierta.
Nunca sabrá tan dulce como su realidad. Another immigrant gone to haunt the other Americas, never to taste as sweet as its reality. The truth is, the closer one gets to it, the more it expands, building higher and higher. Diversity is a melting pot where we turn many shades into one. One language, one label, one country, many genocides united. I apologize for going over time, but I will present that. Okay. I'm reading the next bio a little. Georgina Marie Guardado is the Poet Laureate Emerita of Lake County, 2020 to 2024, and Poets Laureate Fellow, Academy of American Poets. She is board president of the Mendocino Coast Writers Conference. She's been published by Poets.org, Gulf Coast Journal, Yellow Medicine Review, the Moleskine, I hope I said that right, the Moleskine Journal, and more. Please give it up for Georgina Marie Guardado. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm very short. That was incredible. Thank you, Esperanza, for your work. And thank you, Shizue, for having us in Medicine for Nightmares, and my friends for being here. I really appreciated Amanda's piece because I am very tired and I'm very burned out, and I think my rage has kind of burned out and burned me out, and so I kind of went with a more tender approach for these poems, though they still speak to civil unrest. On things we cannot change. A woman at the library tells me this is not a place for politics. This comes after a list of words are banned from use by the federal government, but before libraries across the nation begin to lose federal funding. The banned words include woman, and indigenous, and Latinx, and more I use to describe my identity. The federal funding provides resources for libraries to better support their communities, but this is no place for politics. I look around to make meaning of the toffee time wrappers on my desk, since it felt like a day to have chocolate for breakfast. Think about the sparkling blackberry juice left over in the fridge, how the feeling of its fizziness on my tongue brings me into the present. And for a brief moment, I forget the sizzling of anger. The gods of ordinary living have placed upon my desk mango juice and too many books of poetry checked out from the library. Really, they are tokens of enjoyment, of tangible survival tools to get through this thing called life, and these libraries called sanctuaries. It's interesting, libraries keep becoming more and more targeted, and I work for one, so it's interesting, to say the least. To the toddler representing himself in immigration court. It took 2 days for an Amazon purchase to reach my office, a bilingual copy of The Very Hungry Caterpillar, for a new group of little ones who will sit around together in a circle on a colorful carpet and be read a story. Each child will look ahead to the kind reader, her sweet gestures, her warm, excited voice as she turns each vibrant page, celebrating equally words printed in English and Spanish. Her brown skin clothed in a purple floral dress, only softness. When I see your photo in the news, you are facing a judge 60 years older than you, alone. You have no parents beside you. There are no flowers in this courtroom. No soft words like caterpillar or apple or butterfly, but you are expected to understand words like government, unaccompanied, or understand. You do not even know what a courtroom is. Dear child, you will never read this. Your outcome is uncertain. Left to a broken system, thoughts and prayers will serve no purpose. Still, a space in the colorful circle will be saved for you, a gavel replaced by a book. Thank you. So when I was Poet Laureate of Lake County, I started a pair poetry contest, which is part of the Pair Poetry Festival of Kelseyville. We're known for our pairs in Lake County. And when Brenda Yeager became the new poet laureate of Lake County, she took over the contest. So I've organized it before and judged it, and this year I was able to submit to it for the first time. It was kind of fun to write a pair poem. Although the pair industry is very much kept alive by the migrant workers, especially Mexican workers. So this kind of inspired this poem. The cutting of a pear. A flash memory of a Soda Bay pear field, and I am back in the late 90s. A half broken down car, always barely salvageable, pulled over on the right shoulder as we navigated country roads new to us. My child hands picking up fallen fruit on the warm ground, my mother reveling in the bulbous shape, laughing away our poverty at the joy of free fruit. A pear in its pyriform silhouette tapers near the stem, and we'd never tear it from its base, only taking a few that landed in the dirt, aging, dying. And I, with my child mouth flummoxed, often quiet, would never partake in the cutting of a pear, but teeth sinking bites straight into the strange fruit from a place I never belonged. One year, Mexicans who harvested this fruit were taken away, punished for their labor. Today, melancholy. Today, heart-sinking, buried beneath unending news of division, rhetoric rendering brown skin a profile of legalese, not humanity. Now I dig my teeth into a newly ripe pear, praying, begging, may the land bear fruit and tenderness. Thank you. I'm so honored to introduce our next author. M.K. Chavez is an Afro-Latinx writer, educator, and founder of Ouroboros Writing Lab, which offers creative coaching, workshops, and community engagement. The author of Dear Animal, Mothermorphosis, and Virgin Eyes, she has been honored with the Penn Oakland Josephine Miles Award. We're also kind of horror movie buddies.
Yes. I was thinking about May today.
Oh,
Yeah.
please welcome M.K. Chavez.
You know you have community when you can say something like that. I was thinking about May. It's actually a really great horror film, but today I did not bring horror poems, though I do have. Before I start reading, I want to thank Shizue for today, but also for all of the work that she does and has done for centuries. I feel like, you know, there's so much here in this room, unacknowledged work that's done for free labor, emotional labor, written labor, care for others or, you know, not being able to handle this world that is so very intense. So she's so much appreciated. And so glad for places like Medicine for Minors that can host us. Okay. I brought 3 poems for you. I watched the RNC in its totality before the elections. I watched the RNC in its totality, which is a strange thing to do, but I feel firmly committed to paying attention to what you know the conservatives are doing, where people are at. It's not just pageantry. I think it's important to listen to their words. Of a different type, but much scarier than anything I watch. So many colors, but it's the red that catches. Red on the would-be First Lady. A flash of white, the flag, the boy with the flaming head, tiny soldier, defender of a piece of cloth. The man who once was a boy speaking about his Mima. She kept 19 loaded guns in her house. Poverty, the way they say it, rags, riches, the right way. The crowd chants Mima. The crowd chants send them back. The crowd pops red balloons. The band plays Tom Petty. They parade a certain type of woman who speaks about immigrants the right way, the red way, the right way, the blood-spangled banner. The red-headed boy is hugging the flag. 19 loaded guns. In the audience, red lipstick and balloons. The crowd does the wave to cheap trick. I want you to want me. And there are souvenir ear bandages for sale. Solidarity. Mima had 19 loaded guns to protect her family. The dream. It's American. Deportation like never before. It's a promise. This is not a poetic red dress. It's blood red. Die for your country red. Patriots in red. Red-blooded. Report said the fit was perfect. Dior, red lanyards and cheering for Mima and 19. The number 19 haunts, a common number. The number 19, guns. It comes to me then. Uvalde, 19 children. The number 19 in the midst of so much red. Red delegates, flags, prayers, and the performance of Hulk Hogan tearing off his shirt. Self-portrait horse after Deborah Butterfield's horse. There's something post-apocalyptic about the appearance of a creature from an imagined world, spindled stick figure blasted by fire and wretched. I say this, horse, you and me, we might be necromancy. Maybe it's ill will. Maybe we are skeleton and strange, mud-bound. I imagine us frolicking in the great pastoral we were promised. Ever the foul. We arrive in technicolor, all teeth, rust, and bone. Occasional parts of woman and horse. A bit of this, a bit of that. Maybe we are the last days on earth. Watch us, bridled and reigned at a 3-day wedding in the wine country. Okay. Where $10,000 flower arbors are refreshed daily. And the refrain is, I do, I do. Elsewhere, the gazers pass the blazing shanty towns on East 12th and International. Translucent plastic catches the light just so. Wet cardboard molds itself into nesting material, and repurposed metal sings in the wind. Watch us lope into the debris and make it our musculature. They say a horse turns back to its wild nature after 3 years away from domestication. Who of us can make sense of all of this? The snout, the belly, the legs, are parts infinitely collectible. You see, this horse seems fragile, barely held together, but the alchemy has conjured this beast into infinity, and they will likely outlast us all. Creature of churn, Equus, Ferris, look at you, revered and formulaic, warm blood, you are a metaphor. How alien, how apt and familiar. And I'm not known for my hopeful work, but I'm hoping this is a little hopeful. First day of school. In the classroom, we discuss the problems. We trot them out like ponies. I decide that sometimes change grows like moss. Aggressions, digressions, We label them small or endless or do not speak of them at all. There are sparklings in the room. Hope because we read poems. Hope because for one moment we believe we are in agreement. We talk about reading, writing, and talking about talking. One student introduces himself and says, "I hate reading. Contradictions or spirals. The world is happening without us, within us." Outside on the green grass where yellow chairs lounge for pleasure, there are coyotes and warning signs about coyotes. And maybe it's true that we write poems for ourselves and that we will never know the extent of what anything means. And who is poetry for anyway? I walk the institutional hallways, not in meditation, but in ignorance. I don't know where K363 is, but there's a glimmer, a confidence that the room certainly is on the 3rd floor, right? And then I remember how once I was assigned a room that didn't exist. I see someone I know and attempt a connect. I'm awkward. I like your Instagram, I say. Later, I wonder what I meant. Did I mean, I love you? I'm trying to connect. I'm lost. Are you lost too? And I'm gonna stop there. It's my honor to introduce Norma Smith, one of my favorite writers and human beings in the Bay Area. Norma Smith is the author of Home Remedy. Norma is a writer, social researcher, editor, writing coach, and organizer. Check out her new website. She's been published in multiple journals and anthologies. She co-edited the anthologies Day Without Art and Colossus, Body, 2023. Oh,
You added Peggy on.
I did.
We're close.
She grew up in Fresno in an Ashkenazi Jewish household and has been active in anti-racist, anti-oppression work since high school. She's the author of Home Remedy.
Oh, thank you, everyone. Wow. I was about to say I'm full up, but I'm not. It's very rich. Thank you so much, Shiz, and Medicine for Nightmares, and all of you, writers and artists. So I'm going to read a few poems and one short prose piece and end with a poem. I think. Yeah. I'm going to start with a poem that's fairly recent called Overture, and it's the first poem of a chapbook entitled Nature Poems for the year 2024. Overture. What can I say? I'm a Jew writing protest poems after October 2023. As a writer, I always try to come to terms. This time, I'm trying to find the words to face genocide. I write every day. What I have found during the past 18 months and counting is that every poem, every story I write, no matter the topic I start out with, turns into a poem or a story about Gaza, about resistance, about perseverance, about sumud, steadfastness, about mint growing back in its land to be harvested and enjoyed by the people who live there. I live in the San Francisco Bay Area. Many days I walk in the nearby 2nd or 3rd growth redwoods to soothe myself and to take inspiration, to breathe the oxygen that the forests, still recovering from sawmills of the 19th and 20th centuries, have so diligently supplied us with. I see in these poems that the trees, the moon, the paths through the trees, the birds above, the streams beside the paths, have all tried to comfort me, even as they support my activism. Let these nature poems bring you to a place where some kind of peace might prevail. leaves crumble to dust, and the air darkens early. Every day in another part of the world, it is spring, and the mud has begun to collect on their boots as they raise their rifles again. Speaking of trust, we are not on the same page. I have fallen off this leaf of transparency. My tenderness allows me to neglect the world of rage, obscured as it is, how the sand sticks to the backs of my thighs when I try to stand up in the face of the surf, how people I love lack sweet water to drink and the least crust of food in parts of the world I'm responsible for, how I might turn away from our particular grievances, hold my hand out to the night we all saw coming. Have I told you I'm tired of writing poems that end with body parts splashed across the page, that begin where some otherwise wasted town in rural Nebraska manufactures the small parts of 1,000-pound bombs so the children will have food on the table and roofs over their heads? So this one is from a prompt at a poetry workshop, and the prompt was, in this very dark time, try to find some light. What brings you joy? It's called This Year of Trying. This year of trying to lose myself in the shade of redwoods, which have been parked in the hills above my house whose foundation is laid on stolen land. Instead of soothing, my steps bring me back to the body parts flying past me on their way to the bloody ground a world away. And yet, when my favorite girl asks me how my day went and whether I'd like to play a game with her, my heart breaks, away from the horror that feeds me, that I've been fed this year. Something replenishes my sense of how the lichen clings to the north side and catches the light. And a little prose piece about what brings me joy, and I have permission to read this. We had a long debate about who has authority to write about what and who has authority to give consent to publicize that. And I have limited consent to read this to people that I trust. It's called My Granddaughter, the Logician. And it's from last winter. My granddaughter, the artist, the logician, the 8-year-old, the one who, at 6, upon hearing an account of racism, xenophobia, and limitations put on girls and women in past times, cried out, "But that doesn't make any sense!" Last week, on December 23rd, she explained patiently to me why she believes in Santa Claus. It's obvious to her that her parents would not get up in the middle of the night to deliver presents in secret. It doesn't make sense. I find this a little insulting to her very generous parents, who have sacrificed so much to make her happy as possible in this unreasonable world, and to make her feel always as gifted as she is. How does she underestimate their commitment, their willingness and ability to give up their own comforts for her desires? Not always, but at least as often as not. Their daily practice of protecting her from cruelty and chaos. Her faith is a mystery to me, makes me roll my eyes, makes me giggle, tempts me to dash her belief, correct her, critique her logic. But I bite my tongue and leave her to her earnest, however misdirected, convictions. When she asked me why I believe in Santa, I told her it was because I believe in love and care and gift giving and magic. For sure, when I'm in her presence, I do. There will be plenty of time for us, her loved ones, to correct the tiny flaws in her logic, to show her the light, the human light, to change her mind. In the meantime, I love how sure she is, how logical. And I'm going to end with this piece from the chapbook. The title is a line from the poem that I'm citing. The title is "The Mosque on the Hilltop Calls for Prayer," from Mossad Abu Toha's Ibrahim Abu Bukhod and brother in Yafa. Leather sandals want to step between you and the sand, where your lower limb used to be. There is a titanium prosthesis donated and fitted by an organization forbidden to stay in your country. A new explosion wipes the area clean of debris. When you tell your grandchildren the shape your garden used to form, they believe you, take you by the hand, lead you back to the empty space where the cafe you used to frequent stood. The mint behind the ruined wall grows back. It's the way mint is. Thank you. And I'm very happy to introduce to you Peggy Morrison. She's a European American poet who raised her daughter in Watsonville while working as a bilingual teacher. She's been published in multiple journals and anthologies. She co-edited the anthologies Day Without Art and Colossus Body. She's also a friend, and we're in 2 or 3 writing groups together. And her book, Mom Says, is for sale here. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm grateful to be here in this company and hear your words from the heart and have the opportunity to share mine. I'm going to read several short poems. Can you hear me, everyone?
Yes.
But into the mic.
This is the wrong house. I jumped from the bed trying to get away, crashed my quadriceps full into the corner of the cedar hope chest that was my mom's, felt a deep bruise forming, but nothing is visible, the thigh ordinary flesh. My head hurts and I feel numb. Resources are low, but one has to keep feeling to make a revolution. Can't shake the sense that this is the wrong house, not the one I intended to spend myself building. Our weapons, our dollars, our lethal wealth. This next one is a short poem I wrote to a prompt in MK's Friday Gathering Generative Workshop. List of broken agreements. His embrace, that medical care will be provided. Checks and balances. The Constitution. Smallpox blankets. Freedom of speech. The Bill of Rights. The rule of law. Die for your sins. The United Nations Charter. Common decency. A sacred covenant. The witches are guilty if they drown when submerged. The gardeners are criminals if they are brown and speak Spanish. Love freely given. The patron of desperate causes. Language and bone. I speak the mother tongue of only one of my parents. Patriarchy in my tongue. Croatian silenced, living mute in thick peasant muscle, persistent Catholic heart. I speak the mother tongue of only one of my grandparents. Croatian silenced, Yiddish silence, no tongue voices his flight, yet the muscles tremble, carrying the fear of the Siberian night. I speak the mother tongue of only one of my great-grandparents. Croatian silence, Yiddish silenced, Irish silenced, leading me to speak the language of the English overlords and the language of the Spanish invaders, oligarchy and conquest embodied in my tongue, resistance embodied in blood, memory, and bone. Elders lost, elders balance, ballast in the linked array of presence, crow's throat hoarse with mourning. Elders, bearers of continuity, elders die alone, fade into light. Parents recall grandmother's words, listen for her breath, her bodily warmth. The silken scarf becomes more diaphanous. The young are lifted by harsh winds, floating in long time, their anchor tenuous, bodies healthy, hearts empty with longing, their hearts fill with clear water. Weavers mourn the loss of the elders. Tears soak the cloth, weight the skein back to the river. Strong weavers work, holding in their hearts the mentors who have passed on. They look through glistening water, follow the map of smooth pebbles on the river bottom. We must find our way together, stumbling and swimming on this crowded road. No one to guide us but the knowledge in our bodies, the sights behind our closed eyes. Together, survivors. Crow's throat hoarse with mourning. Nourish thorn. A tiny thorn smoldering in my upper lip, left by the prickly pear fruit you prepared. My tongue slides across slick skin, pets the constant thorn for weeks part of me. With each touch I think of your eyes, the crease in your forehead. In your room, the open door, the brine of our bodies, a prism of night thoughts, I swim towards sunlight. A demon crawls through your voice. You show me where, near the base of your skull. We wonder if we are safe on the undulating ground. I say, you will keep me safe. The constant news, repeated words, Trump's face and all the suits, staring out of the TV like automatons. You find it hard to turn it off. It's a way to keep processing, find out how to be. In the morning, you nourish sauteed potatoes in the iron skillet, coffee with honey in big cups, and we sit in the sun on the back porch. The riverbed, gazing up at the stars. Each star pulling a thread of light from earth to sky. The sky breath breathed by lungs rising and falling, stomata and alveoli, inhale and exhale in communion, bathe in shared air. The shared air holding living cells of memory, the memories held in common by ancient redwood and slim seedling beneath. The slim seedling feels water coursing through its veins. The same veins of our human history, our many grandmothers speaking their many voices. Their voices ring in our ears, sing in our many dreams, flow in our one dream. An elusive moment of tenderness, forest quiet, gazing eye, the child, gazing up into the mother's face, the mother's milk nourishing the child's love, pulling a thread of history from the womb through ocean depths into this human river, this life. And I'll end with something I wrote in lieu of the Pledge of Allegiance. It's like a workshop Richard Lawrence came up with. Should I end here? Okay. I'll tell you my Pledge of Allegiance another time. Thank you. So our next reader will be Sean Edwards, an emerging Richmond writer. After a teaching career in early childhood and higher education, she is diving into a memoir about her struggle for belonging as a biracial, black-white female growing up amidst unhealed generational trauma.
Thank you. I'm really honored to be here. Shiz, I'm really grateful for you bringing us all together. I have 3 pieces. They're all a bit of narrative. The first is The Light Reminds Me. The light reminds me that I'm afraid. Darkness confirms it. Eyes wide open, lids propped by imaginary toothpicks, dilating the blackness, seeking elusive comfort. I turn on the TV for a blue light of distraction from my thoughts to no avail. Fear runs rampant, uncontrolled. Who is in control here? It's me, I think. It should be me. We have nothing to fear but fear itself. Franklin D. Roosevelt. I call bullshit. We have lots to be afraid of. Life, death, rights retracted, freedoms repealed, violence prevalent, hate imminent. I toss and turn, warding off impending fear doom with prayers of safety for my loved ones. Worry robs me of the now, but will not change the outcome. Such a waste to call forth my reptilian brain, cursing cortisol through my system just to entertain my fertile imagination in advance of danger, just in case. Faith, not fear, is the declaration I must make to stop the madness. And so I breathe deeply. Inhale, love. Exhale, fear out. Repeat. The mantra helps me sink into myself and lean into my faith, pushing fear down deep beneath the place that rules me. I am in control. The real danger is in living with thoughts of terror, wiring my brain to survive when I want to thrive. Faith, not fear, will lead the way. I am in control. Breathe deeply, love in, fear out. This next piece is called Scar. A little closer. Scar stories. Scar number 1, a tiny pimple front and center of my adolescent acne chest, rested beneath the new 14-karat heart and key charm hanging from a lovely gold chain, a generous Sweet 16 gift from my mama. The friction dance between the zit and the charm caused an inflamed red scar to form, spread and grow and itch and rise, leading strangers to gawk, until 2 long derm needles punctured and leveled it. Scar number 2. Year 18, blood oozed as a scalpel sculpted long enough to remove the grapefruit-sized ovarian cyst. The thin, crooked line above the soft, curly pubes. How hard could it be to draw a straight line on an unconscious body? Why not slice and dice in the hairline to hide the scar of the fit and fabulous young woman with many bikini days ahead? An angry keloid took up residence for decades, finally fading to flat after so many years I stopped checking. Scar number 3. A pea-sized breast lump is 1/4 of an inch, so why the 2-inch scar? Oh yeah, the expanse was needed to excavate the margins, to obtain specimens for the pathology report, to target my life-saving treatment, yada yada. Scar number 4. Another 2 inches, residing 2 inches from the other 2 to ensure the lymph nodes are clean. 2 places I can no longer feel because the nerves were slashed by the surgeon's blade. So grateful it was only in one breast. Scar number 5. Awake, but loopy as shit. And maybe not awake, but unconscious enough to see great-grandpa float into my hospital room with his classy brown Kangol hat months after he died. Did Grampy watch as they cut yet another crooked gash, less than an inch long, to place the port for the aggressive chemo poison? Scar number 6. Get that lumpy ass piece of plastic out of me. Its job is done. To remove it is an act of faith, the belief that I will no longer need it, not succumbing to that leave it in just in case scenario. My oncologist declared, let's get it out of there. Tears streaming, smiles beaming. She didn't have to tell me twice. Hallelujah. Scar number 7. Scars that were not to be. Just 4 tiny green dots, my only tats, used to align the red rays day after day. Radiation photos of raw, rare flesh brought haunting, future trip and fear of what was to become of my skin after weeks of intentional burn. Instead, healed as smooth, soft skin with no evidence of the hell that had been there, the extreme exhaustion that debilitated me for months, the depression that hunkered on down deep and cozy dark. No scars, just healing, living, learning, loving, thriving. Lucky me and my scars. And the last piece is called Honey Butter Body Love. I resent my belly for having its own zip code. We should all reside in the same lovely space. So rude. Why can't we all just get along and live in embodied harmony? My curves arrived unannounced at age 12, brought me a gift that I did not ask for and could not return. Mom, what's this squiggly thing on my thigh? It won't come off, it's in there. My first stretch mark was a disturbing mystery and became one of many once I began to birth babies. Even my calves had a topography of squiggly maps as my sons grew in my womb. Hormones are a bitch, and not the good kind. In another decade, it's late, and my date says with a smile, I can't wait to see you naked in the moonlight, in the morning light. Do you have cornbread booty? He affirmed joyfully at dawn. I frowned. Do not call my ass a piece of cornbread. Unless, of course, it is dimpled and delicious, slathered with honey butter, the more to sop up the bootylicious juice and the better to play with. He didn't seem to mind, so why should I? I'm a Northern Cali woman, but now my breasts prefer heading south toward the desert or maybe Malibu Beach to hang low enough to soak up the sun and saltwater waves. Who needs perky when you can have relaxed, retired, cancer-free boobs on the loose? Thank you. Now I have the honor to introduce our hostess, mistress, master of ceremonies, Shizue Seigel. She's the director of Right Now, SFA. She's a Japanese-American writer, visual artist, and community activist based in San Francisco. She was most recently published in Panorama, Journal X, and Porter Gulch Review. Let's give it up for Shizue.
Wow, thank you, everybody. It's been a wonderful afternoon so far. And Tehmina will close us out. And I forgot to thank you, MK, for being one of the leaders of our community, and your Ouroboros writing has inspired many of us. So thank you so much. Okay. Invocation of America the Blanktiful, an abecedarian. America, a dream without the K, beautiful, bountiful, blanktiful, carless, uncrashed, uncrazed, crassness incarcerated, curiously crazy in a good way, dominators diminished, dreams cherished in bemused amazement, eagles reclaimed as emissaries of eternal spirit, flying high, feathers wafting down from the forever sky, fathomless, great spirit, habitating the heights, not graven in granite, incised in currency, infused with bloodlust. Let us join in unjacketed freedom, unjammed, unjailed, joyously trusting in what is beyond our ken, KKK-less, clan and kennel-free, no leashes. Forget the lashes slashing through our multi-generational memories. Reclaim the multitudes, mountains too massive to eradicate, anchoring even the deepest night, leading us to dream back oracular vision, oculus of the unoccupied, open-hearted, open-palmed, pristine of policy, of politesse, of prisons of mind and heart. Rescue ourselves from bars that rust away as we speak. Swallow not our tears, spit them out, swim in them until the torrent tears down tyranny that rides the backs of the unseen, ill-used, underpaid. United we stand, fed by underground springs, vanished but not vanquished, vibrant as justice, reverberating with hope. We don't need weapons. We will wear you down by the weight of our combined wisdom, welling up through the eons. We are exactly, exceedingly, excessively alive. Yes, you cannot zero us. So this one is a little bit out of season, but because it's about the spring and we're sort of in the harvest time of this year, but it sort of reminds us, winter is coming, but spring will come too. When the bombs fall, I will be ready. When the fires come, I will be ready. I am not afraid to die, for I have lived. But for today, let me savor what I have been given right now. A safe house and money for heat, organic carrots and whole wheat bread made by those who dig and water and weed, knead bread and bring it to market with a smile. The haters want to destroy California, but they cannot. There are too many of us weaving life out of love, one strand at a time. Doom is all around, it seems, if you heed the screens, But what is happening right now on your street? Parents walk their kids to school. Dogs bring their persons out for air. Elderly couples rotate their joints as they walk. A garage is filled with rowing machines for the dragon boat races. Cherry blossoms paint the sidewalk pink after a hard rain. And North Lake willows are a-twitter with sparrows and finches and red-winged blackbirds calling for mates, calling for friends and family, calling for us to be present in this moment. Okay, and so many of you and so many of my other friends are educators, and they're being beleaguered right now. And it's easy to be fearful for all of the kids and the education that they may not be getting because of the policies that are happening right now. But I wanted to remind ourselves, there are many, many ways of learning. You should have finished college, they said, instead of dancing away the night at the Fillmore to Howling Wolf and the Doors, breaking up keys in the bathtub and dropping acid in the park. You should have finished college instead of discovering the universe on an ashram, learning 100 bhajans, drawing water from the well, beating clothes on the rocks, and drying saris in the tropic breeze. You should have finished college, they said, instead of hawking motor oils at the world's largest agency, learning how to shake hands and talk like a man. Find inspiration in the shower or the long bus ride home. You should have realized they'd never see your talent, only your gender and the color of your skin. You should have stayed married to the philanderer instead of raising 3 kids on your own. You should have stayed a room mother teaching tiny tots for $4 an hour. You could have finished college while your kids were in school. You should have finished college and learned to kiss more butt. Learn to spout the jargon that would have earned a raise and a promotion when you landed a $250,000 account and still had to make the coffee and put away the chairs. You should have finished college, collected letters and certificates to open doors instead of barging in to postal warehouses and housing projects and needle exchanges and outreach on the street. Who said you could edit magazines and newspapers, write books and lay them out, backpack in the Sierras, birth your kids at home? Who cares what you actually learned or did in the school of chance? You are nothing to us without letters and titles to tell us who you are. So, our last reader is Tehmina Khan. She's the daughter of Indian immigrant scientists. She teaches college writing at UC Berkeley and poetry for the people at City College of San Francisco. Her love of family and community is so powerful and so inspiring. Her work appears in Civil Liberties United, The City is Already Speaking, Muslim American Writers at Home, and more. Thank
you. Hey, comrade poets, thank you everybody. Thank you, Shizue. Thank you, Medicine for Nightmares. It's just a real honor and privilege to be here with all of you. Let me adjust this here. I was listening to KPFA the other day, and they were broadcasting the Oakland Arms Embargo rally at the Port of Oakland, and I heard one of my former students read a poem, and she started this poem in my class, and it just blew my mind, and I'm thinking, if this is what I get to do in the world, I'm doing okay. And shout out to one of my students here. Two of my students here, and young person, hooray, hooray. Welcome. And okay, so this is, speaking of education, this is Settler Colony, 4th grade. We build mini missions of clay and sugar cubes, take a field trip to Mission San Juan Bautista to watch reenactments of bread baking and gardening. At school, we pretend we have come to California in covered wagons and swish dirt in shallow pans to see if we can find glittery bits. Mrs. Lewis reads us Island of the Blue Dolphins, chapter by chapter, about an Indian girl alone on an island called Santa Cruz that looks like a fish. Why is she alone? I listen. I am a different kind of Indian girl. I am a different kind of alone. And then she reads us Ishi, last of his tribe. Why is he the last? Questions, but no answers, until decades in the future when the words California and genocide come together. And I think about my immigrant feet that stand upon this genocide. California dreaming on such a winter's day, brushing off the eraser crumbs from this earth where I stand. Everyone knows why they were the last. Everyone knows as we watch genocide on our screens in real time as we pay for it. And this is trust and love. 1, trust is a verb, an activity, a choice. To trust in the great mystery, a wisdom, a sky beyond the sky, ourselves, tiny beings, specks of dust in the grand weavings of the cosmos. Trust in the divine, a purpose. Look for moments of grace in the unspeakable. Become the grace. Love is everything and everywhere, in the air, the water, the sky, the earth. But we need to want it, to seek it, to will it into being, to extend ourselves to ourselves, to all beings. 2, my father knows how to surrender when he prays and how to pray when he is not praying. At 94, he wills himself to live in this world even as he prays for the next. My mother recites Ayatul Kursi quickly from the recesses of a memory deeper than dementia, forehead tight. She holds my hand and recites. How many times has she recited Ayatul Kursi for me and my sisters when she didn't know what else to do? Trust is a verb. We will ourselves to trust. We choose to trust. On Instagram, we bear witness to children screaming, to mothers wailing over beloved corpses, to everyone hungry, thirsty, wasting away. Instant death, slow death, living death. I will myself to trust in a wisdom greater than this moment, in a love I never thought possible. As I witness Bisan al-Auda saying, "We're still alive," and MC Abdul rapping in the rubble, and teenagers dancing the dabke outside bombed out buildings, and Khalid Nabhan kissing his dead granddaughter, calling her the soul of his soul, and Rifat al-Arir asking for a kite when he's gone, and Heba Abu Nada asking us to tell the story of Raiz. I will myself to trust every day. It's not easy, and most days I fail. Despair is treason, so I trust in the divine. I ask for wisdom. I will myself to love, because despair is treason. I will myself to sing the song of myself in others. And I'll close with a utopian narrative. I was flying from Washington, D.C., where my son lives. It's back here. And I saw from the corner of my eye what looked like the Palestinian flag on the tail of an airplane. It was the Emirati flag. But I was thinking, well, what if it was the Palestinian flag? So this is called Watermelon Airways. Peace be upon you, and welcome to Watermelon Airways, where Mediterranean warmth meets Pacific Ocean cool. The time here in Ohlone land is 1 o'clock p.m., and we thank the Ohlone people for welcoming our aircraft on their runway. We wish to acknowledge our shared history of colonization, resistance, and, at long last, liberation. And we also acknowledge that liberation is never complete, that the revolution must keep on revolutionizing. So we commit ourselves to the continued struggle for the liberation of all people and all non-human sentient beings. We acknowledge that we are speaking the language of the colonizer, a language that does not come from us and is not part of our heritage. Rather, it was imposed upon us through violence. As we speak this language, we pay reverence to our martyrs who were killed for keeping our languages and stories alive. Journalists and storytellers, poets and artists, and we commit to learning and passing along our words, our sounds, our ancient rhythms that live in our bones. We also honor the survivors who put their bodies, hearts, and minds on the line in the work of liberation, and to commit to joining you as we all continue in this work. Furthermore, we commit ourselves to listening to the ancestors of this land, of the land of our destination, and all the lands in between. At the same time, we acknowledge that this language allows Ohlone to speak to Palestine and for travelers and guests to speak to each other. As we speak to each other, we will change this language from one of pain and violence to one of shared struggle and solidarity. We create language. Language does not create us. As we fly across Turtle Island, follow along on the interactive map which will name the lands and the peoples on the grounds beneath us. Touch the screen to hear songs and stories, to see artwork, plants, and animals. Know that these are lands rich in beauty, ecological diversity, and human and non-human culture. We commit to respecting the natural and cultural heritage of all the lands we fly over. We commit to walking softly on this earth, tasting her bounty and reverence. At the same time, we acknowledge the harm we are causing by burning fossil fuels to power this aircraft. While we are grateful that it can connect us from Ohlone land to Palestine, we commit to doing better. Our aircraft engineers are working hard to harness clean technologies that are more efficient and less harmful, but we're not there yet. We commit to flying less and with greater purpose. To our guests who are descendants of our former colonizers, we welcome you, and we encourage you to reach back into your pre-colonial heritage. What are your ancient stories? Who were you before some of your people became thieves, conquistadors, and slave masters? Certainly, you too were harmed by colonialism. Certainly, you also need to heal from those times of pain and trauma. We commit ourselves to your liberation too, to our collective liberation. Fasten your seatbelts, friends and comrades. I am Aliyah, your captain. The time now is 10 minutes past Zohar. If you wish to invoke the 4 directions, we are facing due east. If you wish to pray towards Makkah Hurra, the Qibla is 45 degrees to your left. Please pray for our safe and joyful flight. Our global crew hail from Ohlone land, Muskogee land, Cherokee land, Aslan, Kashmir, Guangdong, Vietnam, and of course, Palestine. We will serve delicious fusion snacks and beverages, including acorn bread with olives and hummus, goat cheese with dates, black tea with Ohlone sage, cold hibiscus infusion, and chocolate from Mexico. Once we take our flight, our crew will come around and introduce themselves by name. They will offer toys, games, and books for people of all ages, puppets and puzzles, toy animals, and building blocks. On this flight, we welcome all generations, all genders, all languages, all faith traditions, all abilities, and all ethnicities. We are skilled in offering care. We are here to help you care for yourselves and your loved ones. Let us know what you need. Blankets, pillows, earplugs, fidgets, or assistance with the restroom. Elders, we cherish you. Let us know how we can keep you comfortable. Children, we love you and want you to play and have fun. In case of emergency, we keep each other safe. We understand your impulse to place the oxygen mask on your children first, but we urge you to place yours first so you can better assist your loved ones. We are all here to keep each other, we are all here together to keep each other safe and happy. Here on Watermelon Airways, we travel on an ethic of love that presupposes that all of us have the right to live freely and well. Our quote of the day is, remember, you are all people, and all people are you. You are this universe, and this universe is you. From the poet Joy Harjo. We invite you to turn towards your companions next to you and reflect on what this means to you. We are not strangers here. We are each other. So welcome, everyone, on this flight from Oloni land to Philistine. May we revel in this journey. May it be a joy. Peace be upon you.
All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone. That was amazing. So if I could get the writers together over here so we can take a group picture. And then I made reservations at a restaurant down the street, Tio Chilos. It's a family-owned restaurant. It's between Florida and Bryant. It's 2872 24th Street. And I told them that we would be over there about 4:30 or so. But in the meantime, check out the books, not only the writers' books, but also all the other wonderful books in this fabulous bookstore. Medicine for Nightmares is really generous with their time and space, but they do need our support to keep their doors open. So anyway, thank you very much, everybody, and let's gather for a group picture.
Thank you, Shizue.